All right, hey Ava. So, thank you so much for coming in. I had a blast catching up, and I think that wrist injury is pretty straightforward. Kind of again, we want to break things up into those three categories we talked about: inflammation, range of motion, strength. The inflammation, I think you're doing a pretty good job on. I'd love to see you bump up the ice a little more frequently. It doesn't take much, that area, to get it cool. So even just a few minutes, 5 minutes tops on that area, if you could hit that 4, 5, 6 times a day, at least for this next week, the next couple of days this weekend, I think that'll make a huge jump. I'd lay off the heat. I think it's hot enough. It's getting enough. It's going to get enough internal heat from the movement, from the exercise. Only really want to heat it if it's feeling super stiff, and I think you're past that phase. So no heat, a little bit more ice, and I'm going to leave the anti-inflammatories, the Tylenols, up to you. I'd kind of let the work and the typing be that the predictor of how much there you need. And again, this weekend, not much. I really want to lay off that stuff this weekend and just promote the ice and the mobility. So a little bit more ice there. We got the tape. I'd wear that through the weekend. And then I will look and I'll see if I find a split that I like for you. But again, I'm kind of leaning away from splinting it or anything like that. I want as much movement as you can get out of that wrist right now. Next phase is the motion. Honestly, both forearms need this. Just getting on the table or desk and leaning like that. If this is easy, get them away from you. That makes it a little bit harder. We're trying to get those palms flat. If it's hard, get that a little closer to your body, just like that. If you want to get a little more advanced, turn those fingers even. Woo, that really lights up. Again, that pinky side is what you're trying to get stretched out. So hard, easier, hard. You make that call. But we want just general forearm stretching. Those guys are tight. And then separate from that, but very similar angle, is we want to put that wrist on a good stretch, and then from there do our finger push and relax. Finger push, relax. Not a lot of movement, even just kind of meeting its own pressure, just kind of an isometric relax. Isometric relax. You're not doing full range of motion or anything like that yet. As we talked about in here, when you're on a full stretch, maximum range of motion, you're not going to be able to push very hard. I don't want you to push very hard. We want low intensity. When you're on a little bit less stretch, you can have a little bit more intensity. Play around with those angles. Play around with which one. We want them all to feel good. We want no pain with any of those. Figure out which one of those feels like you can get better work with that tendon with. If you feel like one is easier than the other, if you feel like one is more challenging than the other, that's the one I want you to work on. All right, we're trying to build up the weaknesses here. So a few times a day, I'd get about 10 to 20 reps, just pushing and relaxing, pushing, relaxing. Just kind of every couple hours, try to make that happen. Same with this. Every couple hours, just try to spend about 20, 30 seconds in this position. I mean, you can do some weight shifting, you do some rocking back and forth, just in general forearm tightness. We talked about the rubber band. This would be pretty low on my list, but hey, if you happen to have one nearby and you already got forearm on your mind, I love this for honestly both forearms, really just to kind of build up the top side so it takes the pressure off the underside. In general, the forearms are great. They're strong. I just don't want to get too imbalanced. And I just a little bit of fear with that old injury that you might have a little bit of imbalance there. So this would be my go-to if you want to address that top side of the forearm. Not a huge deal if you don't. So that's really the routine. Several times a day, icing, several times a day, big stretch, several times a day, work through the motions. Separate from all that, if you want over this weekend to kind of get you ready for class work, get you ready for metabolic work, light dumbbells would be fine. I'd keep it around 5. We proved in here push-ups, hanging from a bar. You can do some work. I don't want this arm to do nothing for the next 3 days and then you go to class next week and think, okay, it's ready. Start to build it, start to give little workouts, make sure everything's happy, just no pain in the process. All right. And then my little bit of coaching here. I think where we get in trouble here with some of those group classes is, again, these are our 4 variables when it comes to any exercise, any any set, if you will. You know, this can be bench press, this could be squats, this could be kettlebell swings. You can maximize one of these, and then the rest kind of have to fall in line. So whatever that movement is, you know, if it's heavy and it's really intense, guess what? Don't worry about the motion. Slow speed, you're not going to do a ton of reps. If you know that you're trying to, this is more for mobility, okay, then you're not going to go very heavy. As long as I want you to know these, remember these, and that way in class, if something gives you a hiccup, if you're, oh, we're changing up today and we're maxing out, or you go from lane 1 to lane 2, you just need to have these in the back of your head, not to get too far down the road with high reps, fast reps, really deep reps, and heavy. That's recipe for disaster. So I know you know, but again, when we're coming back from an injury, even more important to make sure we're modifying this. I'm always going to pick slow. I'm always going to pick good range of motion, and then the intensity and the reps kind of fall where they may. That's me personally. You might have another goal. All right, that's enough of me babbling. If you got any questions, feel free, call me, text me. We'll figure it out, and I will. And then maybe we'll catch up after the holidays. Merry Christmas. Take care.